Philosophy of education is something that I've been fascinated by, but when people ask what it is, it's really hard to pin down. When they ask, what do you do? I mean, I ask all these questions and speak to all these people because I'm so curious about what is it that defines, what is knowledge? Why is it needed? There's so many questions that necessarily don't fit into a nice little box. And so you kind of have this philosophy of education. But to you, what does philosophy of education mean?
Yes, I mean, I teach philosophy of education. And I talk about philosophy of technology in that context, and I basically always begin with the simple definition of philosophy as asking two basic questions: what is a thing, and what is it good for? What's the good of it? And essentially, I think philosophy of education boils down to asking, well, what is education? And what are its goods, what are its goals, what are its fundamental concerns. So I think that's basically what philosophy of education concerns. And of course, you know, one can one one there tends to be lots of assumptions made or lots of associations made when we talk about education. We normally think school, or we normally think formal institutions, and we therefore maybe overlook a more structured, or let's say theoretical and developed concept of what education actually is. Maybe what distinguishes education from other forms of influence, which is a particular question for me, such as, indoctrination, coercion, manipulation. How do we distinguish educational influences from those other kinds of influences? So that's one area that really fascinates me.